right. So I definitely feel like one thing that God has brought to my attention lately is that I'm not a fixer. And what I mean by I'm not a fixer is when it comes time to fix things, relationship problems, friendship issues, my car, I'm just going to opt out and get a new one. I've never really been the let's work on this together, let's figure it out, let's make some changes together type of girl. And I was really trying to once God brought it to my attention, I really tried to sit and figure out, well, where did that come from? Why is that a thing? Like, why have I never wanted to put in the work to fix something? And I realized that obviously everything in what we do, we operate out of trauma, unhealed trauma, healed trauma. It's trauma. And I was talking to God about it and I was like, oh, I like this is a problem. Like, you know how you in a relationship? Well, for those that know, and like when I was younger, it would be like, okay, we got into an argument, bye, we breaking up. Why is it that deep? Like, why can't we just fix the problem? Like, and so then I realized that my exit was like my way out of more hurt, more trauma, more unexpected anything, something that I couldn't control. And so it was like my exit was always my way of controlling the situation, controlling the narrative, controlling the outcome, and just being like, okay, well, even if that did hurt, you're not going to hurt me again or you're not going to hurt me anymore. I'm out, you know? And I realized that with my car. Like, I didn't even put two and two together with relationships until I got older. But then I realized that I'm like that in life, not just relationships. Like, something's wrong with my car. Okay, let me get a new one. That is so bad when I think about it because it could be a part that could be like $500. Like, okay, let's just pay for it and continue with the car. Why are we getting rid of the car? Why can't we just fix this? You know? So that is definitely something that I've realized. And with the importance of like relationships and friendships, I've realized that the things that are worth fixing and working on, you will know once you have this realization of maybe I need to make a change, maybe I need to take a step back and stop trying to control the narrative. And that's one thing that I learned recently. By recently, I mean within the past few years. Because then there are some situations where you're like, oh, I want to fix this friendship, oh, I want to fix this relationship, and that person don't have your back the way that you would have theirs. They don't want to fix it the way that you're now like trying to fix it when you're not even that kind of person to fix it. You know what I'm saying? And by that I mean just like when you're tested in things, like if you're working on something, you're going to be tested in it. Things aren't always going to go the way that you expect. So like once you make the conscious decision, like I'm gonna work on this, you're gonna be tested in it, and it still might not go in a happy-go-lucky way that you think. It still might not be that happily ever after situation that you thought. It may end, and it's like I feel like those kind of things happen because God is trying to show you that yeah, I'm working in you and through you in this situation, but I need you to be ready for all types of outcomes, not just the one that you expect. It's really all about releasing that control. Hmm. And I don't like to hear that because I like control. I like to know what's gonna happen. You know, I've always been the I'm gonna leave before you leave me. Like you're not gonna keep hurting me. You hurt my feelings. Now you hate me. Now I'm gonna leave. And it's just not always that black and white. It's not always. I don't want to say not that serious because it could be to your feelings, your emotions, but it doesn't have to be so black and white. Like it doesn't have to be. You know, I don't know what that means, but it makes sense in my hands. I mean, it makes sense. See, it made sense in my head with me using my hands. Um. So yeah. Lately, I've been trying to work on fixing things instead of throwing it out and getting a new one. And I'm referencing my car. I do want a new car, but I'm referencing my car, friendships, relationships, just knowing what's worth fixing, knowing what's worth putting in the time and the effort to fix. Now, again, there are some situations and some things that come about that you're like, well, maybe I can fix it, and it still might not go the way that you thought. Like, I definitely have been in a relationship where I thought this person had my back completely, like the way that I have theirs. Like, okay, we have a problem, but in my mind, it's me and you against the problem. So let's figure out how to fix the problem because it's not me against you. It's not you against me. Girl, the whole time that man was against me. It was not us against the problem. He was my enemy. Like he was literally setting out to hurt me on purpose. And that was a big setback because it was before that I realized that I wasn't a fixer. So then it was like, oh, this is my person. Let me fix it. Girl, that was not it. That was not the case. I definitely learned in that there are some things that are going to be worth fixing and some things that aren't. But when you use discernment, when you listen to God, when you talk to Him, like, get, let me know something. Like, God, tell me, like, do I need to be working on this and fixing this with this person, with this car, with these people, with this friendship? Or is it time to just let it go? Because there are some things that after a certain season, baby, you gotta just let it go. It's time to just move on, you know?